Hello, people from all places and races. We are once again with another unscripted video regarding a topic we never thought we were going to talk about regarding this franchise. I mean, the title alone gives it away. Not necessary. This doesn't have to do really with probably thinking of a proper conclusion to the epic Rabbit saga and maybe make the definitive game or something discussing certain elements of the lore. But this has to do with the franchise as a whole and some things we have realized over the last few years that are quite curious and up to a certain point concerning. We would like to divide this in different points that we will explain briefly right now. So the first thing is first, the Rabbids movie. We've known about this for a decade. We have talked about it in a full-on special presentation video regarding how it should work, how the story should go, mentioning of course the fandom just like in any video of the Rabbids. But it's still a thing that has crossed our minds, to not just me but to everyone here. What's gonna happen with that film? Because frankly, we don't have anything regarding the information of the movie. Now, we are aware that the whole thing of movie based on a video game franchise taking a long time isn't a thing that has happened just now. It's a thing that has happened before. The main examples are both Five Nights at Freddy's and the Minecraft movie. Two very popular IPs back in the early 2010s that were really massive. They're much bigger than the Rabbids are. Honestly, it's certainly amazing. We can discuss all day regarding the quality and the production value and stuff like that. That is a totally different aspect. We're talking about the fact that the movies were made and the fact that those movies were successes as well. The thing is that the difference here, well, no, the thing is that the difference between these two productions and the Rabbids movie, apart from the fact that they effectively happened, and one is basically confirmed to get sequels, is that the Rabbids movie hasn't had anything yet. Even with the 10 plus years of production that these two movies got, and it's always, hey, the development hell, and they commented all the stuff regarding certain casting choices and stuff. We at least knew they were going to happen at least at one point because there were updates. We knew that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was wanted to be the most perfect movie that could possibly be, and they wanted to make an entire trilogy out of it. And of course, they got Scott Cawthon to overview the entire project. We know that, and well, I'm impressed with the production value that it has, the animatronics, how they move, how they feel. It's just straight out of the games. It's amazing. But yes, and in the case of the Minecraft movie, there was a little less information, but we knew at least that stuff was happening. There was, for a few years, there was practically nothing more than a possible release date, and really got delayed, and then we knew about the casting of Jason Momoa and of course Jack Black as Steve. But yes, we eventually got news regarding it. Literally anything. Casting, the production, we got of course the release dates, most obvious. Yes, there were things, but in the case of the Rabbids movie, nothing has happened. There hasn't been any more comments from Todd Strauss-Johnson or any of the Robot Chicken writers. There was no more footage, no concept art, no leaked script or anything really. It's odd to say the least. But there's a point where it just stops being odd, and we really can tell that we don't think it's gonna happen. It's a thing that here on my side I accepted not so long ago. It's sad to say the least, but let's be real here. I don't think it's gonna happen. And there's many reasons for that. Well, for starters, is the state of the franchise that we will develop this point later on. Yes, the state of the franchise isn't very stable. You could say it's not really. You could say it doesn't look good, honestly, at all. And and we don't know if Ubisoft is still invested in making a Rabbids movie, and put money into it with everything that has been going on surrounding the gaming industry and just the Ubisoft teams as a whole. Remember that this is supposed to be a production between Lionsgate and Ubisoft Film and Television, or as I used to call it, we used to call it Ubisoft Motion Pictures, but nothing emerged. We don't know what has happened or what's going on, and frankly, we don't know if it's even plausible to even get it at this point. And yeah, and even if I'm being just a negative Nancy, I'll say I don't think it's going to happen, at least on Lionsgate. I'd say it even happen on Netflix. And maybe if 1 or 2 years from now we get a confirmation, yes, they're no longer making a movie, Netflix is making a movie, and we're gonna have it in 2 more years. Yeah, I do believe that could be the possible case. That's the most obvious alternative we can think of, because, well, Netflix distributed the last season of Rabbids Invasion and also the Mission to Mars special. So there is a possibility that could be the next big option, because we don't see it on other productions or on other big productions. We don't see it on Disney. We're not gonna take Warner Brothers. Universal doesn't need them. They got the Minions. Paramount, maybe we don't count on that. Well, yeah, that would be the thing. And this actually has to do with another point that we will discuss, and it's that there isn't anything else regarding the Rabbids on film and television, because, well, the last thing we've ever heard of them is Mission to Mars, which was good. It was good, and after that there was no other confirmation. And what surprises me and surprises all of us is that Rabbids Invasion was probably the only Ubisoft adaptation, the only Ubisoft film or television project that had a success, apart from Captain Laserhawk, but that's very recent. Rabbids Invasion was the only one, because think about it, we had 4 seasons, over 300 episodes, and a very long special that basically works like a movie finale. It's a series finale. It's been confirmed. It's the end. That's the end of the invasion saga, as I would like to say. Yes, it is surprising how that was the only one with a success, and you'd think that because it was such a success, they would at least try to get it off the ground, but nothing. It's surprising, because let's be honest, we don't know what's going to happen with all the other adaptations they're working on. Watch Dogs at least had recently an update that they're effectively recording it. Assassin's Creed, the first movie that they're making, it didn't work out. Now they're making a series that was announced 4 to 5 years ago, and there's no news. That's from Netflix. And, well, there's some other stuff that will eventually get here. There's the Splinter Cell show, and what else do we have? Apparently, there's also going to be a Captain Laserhawk season 2, but there's no news on that. I suppose it was going to come out last year, but nothing happened. And yeah, that's the thing that happened. It's still surprising, because that's the only project that was a big success, and it's still surprising that despite everything, it didn't lead to something bigger. You think that a show that has 4 seasons, 300 plus episodes, a full-on special that had an own tie-in video game, you think that that would be equivalent to at least see something else. Because if we don't get the movie, maybe there should be another show. Uh, but no, not really. The last thing we've seen of something similar outside of the Mission to Mars special were those indie shorts, which were a nice experiment. They were pretty good, but yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so here is the thingy that everyone is expecting, and it's the games, because the Rabbids franchise is a series of games. Of course, that's the main focus of the IP. They're Rabbids games. We've had many, and recently we haven't got really all that much. And that's a thing that has, well, caught up our attention, because it's strange how after the interactive TV show there wasn't really anything or any big project of the Rabbids. They were all very small experiments for mobile devices and some VR devices as well, but no, nothing too big. Okay, you could take it as a small vacation. And then came Kingdom Battle, Marvel's Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the game that, at the eyes and the logic of the internet, it broke the internet. Because let's be honest, the rumor of a Mario crossover with the Rabbids was just absolutely bonkers. Not even the most hardcore Rabbids fans could believe it, and it ended up being one heck of a great game. And then for those few years, there wasn't really anything. The biggest highlight was, the new season of the show and coding, both in 2019, and then there was really not much until we get the confirmation in 2019 that they were making a new party game based on Journey to the West, which we all know, Rabbids Adventure Party, aka Rabbids Party of Legends, which later released in 2022 alongside the sequel to Mario Bros. Rabbids and the Mission to Mars special. And that was the last great year of the Rabbids, let's be honest. The last great year. We had two new games. One was a sequel of one of the most beloved crossovers ever, a sequel to the more traditional Rabbids games that started the whole franchise, and a special that worked as a series finale for one of the biggest hits in terms of video game adaptations. Folks around here, and I don't think even Ubisoft understands a bit of the value that Rabbids Invasion has. That it's just such a big project. It's still fun to remember today, even though it's not that talked about. It has good memories. It has tons of episodes. It's still amazing. Not many. No, I don't think there is or there will ever gonna be any video game adaptation with that kind of success, a sleeper success, you could say. They could have billions of dollars and have all sorts of marketing, but to stay for that long in the minds of people like that, not many can do it. But yeah, it was a great year. And then not much happened. 2023 came along and we got the DLCs for Sparks of Hope. And then 2024 came with Legends of the Multiverse, which was the Apple Arcade exclusive title that none of us Rabbids fans were able to play, ironically. And yeah, that's what happened. And apparently, according to our friend Nikita from Rayman Universe, we were supposed to get a sequel. They're making a sequel to Party of Legends, which, I love the idea, but with this, with the reports that they gave us, there was something off. Okay, we will first discuss this point and then the others that we were trying to do. So, Nikita commented that their Ubisoft Shanghai was apparently making a sequel to Party of Legends, which, as you may know, Ubisoft Shanghai is a team in China that, of course, does Ubisoft games. there were a lot of listings for jobs for casual party game, as it's what says in the job listing, including economic design, game programmers, and other stuff like that. UI design as well. And the thing is, that caught my attention, but I've been looking into it, and it really is weird, to say the least. The job listings were effectively real. We checked on the official Ubisoft page for Shanghai, and yes, the job listings are real, so there's a confirmation there. Don't worry. But here's the thing. You folks realize that Party of Legends wasn't developed by Ubisoft Shanghai, right? It was made by Ubisoft Chengdu. We talked about this in many occasions. We know this because, well, Party of Legends is a very important game for me. It's may just be just a good 7 out of 10 game. It's 7 out of 10 game, but it represents a lot of what has been done inside the fandom. And well, yes. So I don't understand where did Nikita get, and where do my fellow Rabbids fans get the idea that this title that they're making is effectively a sequel to Party of Legends. We would love to be wrong. It would be cool that effectively they're making a sequel, not necessarily a direct sequel Party of Legends or Party of Legends 2, but maybe another Rabbids party game with that same aesthetic, the same engine, new minigames, maybe with other Chinese mythological characters, or I don't know, maybe a brand new theme, but I don't think that's the case. And we know this because we've been covering stuff related with the development of Rabbids games for many years now. We have talked about the main teams behind the games: Milan, Montpellier, Paris, and of course Chengdu. These were and there's also other teams like Pune, for example, and some folks down there that did stuff like Ubisoft Sofia, who made the ports of PC for Go Home and Rayman Raving Rabbids 2. But yeah, I don't understand where that idea came from. And Shanghai isn't a bad team, but I don't think they would be in charge of a Rabbids game, which it's an odd thing. Their lineup of games is pretty solid. They have the Far Cry games. They're helping out on some of the Just Dance titles. They also worked on some stuff for Tom Clancy, and one of the highlights is a very important title that most of you Rayman fans recognize: Rayman 3 Hustle Havoc. They made that one. So I don't understand where you folks got the idea that this game, this upcoming party game, casual party game, is a Rabbids one. Especially because I've also seen the job listings, and the economic design one is a position that basically is in charge of the monetization. So that in mind, the first thing that comes to me is like, that's probably a mobile game that they're making, or maybe something like, I don't know, a Monopoly title, because they also got Ubisoft has the Monopoly license. So yeah, that's the thing. Sorry, folks, that we have to burst out that bubble, but yeah, that's why we want to look into stuff. We have bad experiences regarding these rumors and leaks, and those who have been with me for years know that I've also done my fair share of dumb things regarding certain information. That's why we always verify our sources. We also investigate the case. So yeah, that's the thing. And with that out of the way, we want to talk about the thing of the games, because You'd think that there would be. Do you think that everything's okay and maybe just things are going to be slower? But it's actually kind of strange how this whole thing. Uh, because remember, apart from Mario Bros. Rabbids Sparks of Hope, there wasn't barely any marketing. There was barely any marketing for the other titles. There was just a launch trailer, respectively, for Party of Legends and Legends of the Multiverse, for when those two games released, and that was it. Not to mention that the story and development of Legends of the Multiverse is quite strange because, well, there's some things we've been looking into, and it seems that they were. I mean, it seems that there wasn't that much of a budget or that much of a, you could say, plan to make it big. It was more so just a simple Apple Arcade title. Not this isn't to undervalue the work of Ubisoft Anang. They did really good job. We talked about some of the people who worked on it in a previous video, but I don't know, the thing about the music, there isn't a lack of music, the lack of marketing, the fact that there isn't any major updates till now. It's really, it's a thing that leaves me thinking, you know. And this has happened somewhat before with Rayman Mini because, well, remember that was also an Apple exclusive title. It got updates and stuff. They got back Mr. Dark for the villain from the very first Rayman game, and with an updated design for the UbiArt era. And yeah, that was pretty much it. The game went silent. There hasn't been any updates in years, and that's it. By now, there should be a proper port to other consoles, not just stick in Apple Arcade, because we don't want, nobody here wants to have the fate of Amazing Bomberman. They just announced that game is gonna be gone, so it's odd. And then, and the thing in, no, yeah, that's weird because there doesn't seem to be that many plans. They just released it on a platform that is very limited to only Apple devices that not many folks seem to use because we haven't had any gameplays or even proper reviews of the title till now, and it's almost going to be a year since it released, and that's it. Which is sad because the title does have some very cool animations and flashy effects. It's really, it would be a sad thing to put it into waste. Yeah, that would be the stuff regarding the games, and out of that, there hasn't been anything else. No rumors or any potential leaks or anything. Yeah. Okay, for the final point of the video, and we'll discuss about the state of the franchise in social media, and just the state of the franchise in general. So, folks that have been with this franchise for so long know that the Rabbids started in 2006. We're currently in 2025. Next year is 2026, which means that next year is the 20th anniversary of the Rabbids IP. And it's kind of odd that there isn't anything potentially to look forward to. It's strange, frankly. Maybe it's a bit early. Maybe the thing is that it's a bit early, but at the same time, there are a bunch of things that don't make us feel that confident. And that's the thing, it's the presence of social media. So, we're going to comment about this. The Twitter page for the Rabbids has basically done nothing much. It has been quite inactive as of late, and the only time they decided to post something, a meme, an announcement of collaboration, or just a reference to one of the games, anything, is with the Legend of Mushroom collaboration, which was not well received by the fans. It was the comments done on those posts by our fellow Rabbids fans were a bit depressing. Even though some of them were just meme postings and just people upset about not being go home or stuff like that, it's kind of sad. That's the collab. That's the collab that we're getting for the Rabbids this year. That's the most interesting. Because, well, there was a collab before for another mobile title, which is Stumble Guys. You've seen it before. It was still odd to see it, which is ironic because, well, we're talking about the franchise that crossed over with Mario, but this one felt odd because, well, wouldn't it make more sense to be with Fall Guys, with the original one? Because, you know, Fall Guys has collaborated with other IPs, especially gaming IPs, like, for example, Nier Automata. So yeah, it felt weird, and even up to a certain point we thought it was a bootleg thing or just a thing that wasn't done without a license, but no, it was an official thing that was even acknowledged by the official Rabbids Twitter page. Yeah, and despite that, it was a pretty good collab. It had the models were reworked of the typical Stumble Guys characters that were reworked entirely to make it look like the Rabbids, and it was very well made. It's impressive. There were tons of references in the costumes of distinct Rabbids media. Like there was there's a skeleton one that was just a reference to one of the old toys. We thought that was amazing. You had to collect the plungers in order to achieve the goals and also get all the cool rewards. It was pretty good. Okay, it was another one, a weird crossover, a collaboration, but there was some love put into it. But this one of Legend of Mushroom was just not the same case. The title, apart from the fact that it uses AI imagery, like these scummy video game ads that you see in pages that aren't all that safe, the game isn't really. It's a cookie clicker game. It's a game that is pretty automatic, and that's just it. You don't even have to press anything. It just plays on its own and just maybe press some two buttons and you update it, and it's just filled with so many things. There's like basically two screens. It's all and it's not even unlockable at the start. It's not with the Stumble Guys collaboration where it didn't make sense that you wouldn't get everything on one go because you had to earn it. But by earning it, you have to play the game, and I think they gave you the simple the simple skin on the very first level. So you install the game right away, and yes, you play 1, 2 or 3 matches, you may win, and then you can get the rabbit skin, and that encourages you to play the rest and try to get all the other rewards. But here, you have to basically advance a lot through the game to actually get the collab, and that's honestly tiring because the game isn't even all that fun. It's just, as I said, it's a cookie clicker kind of game. And that's the thing, because that's the collaboration we are getting. This goes to another point, which is sad, and it's that how come, apart from the Stumble Guys collaboration and of course the Mario + Rabbids crossover, there hasn't never been any cool collaborative events with the Rabbids? I mean, there's always a reference to the Rabbids in the Ubisoft titles, and then there's some stickers here and there, but there's nothing that really makes you say, "Wow, that's awesome! That's a cool. Those are cool references." Like you don't see like Rabbid theme armor for or a Rabbid theme guns for like Rainbow Six, or even like Rabbid themed cars for the crew games, or I don't know, maybe some new classes for Might and Magic, stuff like that. It's still odd. They're not even the own Ubisoft titles. They're these collabs or in any other game. They've always been just little simple skins or stickers, nothing to really. And yeah, that's kind of concerning, you know? Like, why aren't they in Brawlhalla yet? I know it's easier said than done, but it's surprising that we've had already collaborations with characters from distinct Ubisoft titles, and there are characters that deserve it more and I do believe would work better for the title, like Sam Fisher or Jade. But it's weird that there hasn't been anything of the Rabbids, like absolutely no reference to them inside Brawlhalla, which is still feels weird, and that just makes me think: what's next? Are all the collaborations just gonna be with mobile titles that no one really talks about? Well, we get it with Stumble Guys. There was love behind it, but this one, that's it. There any? That's it. That's. I hope that the next collab isn't gonna be with some. I don't know, with some. I don't know, with some puzzle game that really nobody knows. One of those, you know the ones. Those match 3 kind of games will explode the bubbles, and it's not gonna be even like remotely engaging or remotely, visually cool. And that takes us to the next point, and it's the presence in social. And to the next point that is related with this, the presence in social media, because they haven't been active. The Rabbids official pages haven't been active. We've talked about this before right now with how they only made a post regarding the Legend of Mushroom collaboration, but apart from that there hasn't been anything. In fact, the channels are basically abandoned. The official Rabbids channel doesn't have a logo. It just has an art. And it hasn't uploaded anything in around 7 years. The last posts that were made, the last videos that were posted were from Kingdom Battle, which is odd because remember, we got a bunch of stuff after that. Sparks of Hope, Party of Legends, Legends of the Multiverse, and Mission to Mars. You'd expect that we would at least get trailers from that, but there's nothing. And there was also an official Spanish channel for the Rabbids that has been inactive for way more. And yes, they haven't been engaging with the community at all, and there hasn't been any interesting posts or anything, any updates. The last type of post that didn't have anything to do with you would say the collaborations was a special message from the Rabbids the day the Mario movie premiered, which was a little nice thing. Okay, that was cool. It was a cool detail. Apart from that, it's nothing else. It's kind of fatalist to say this, to say that a franchise is dying, and well, it is a bit going too extreme to say that it's gonna die, but the signs, the state of it is just not good at all. It doesn't give us any confidence, because the thing that has been going on these last few years is that the Rabbids just been a franchise that's just there, which is sad. Just there, it just exists. You can release a game, maybe a video, and that's it. Because, well, the newer games that are not related with Mario haven't gotten a lot of marketing. The social media pages haven't been all that active. The latest collab we got was very disappointing to many, if not everyone. And there doesn't seem to be any plans regarding the 20th anniversary. Sorry, the 25th is for Rayman. No, in fact, this is the 25th. It's the 30th. And yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything to look forward to, and the state is of the franchise is sadly, it's just sad to see. And personally, I knew there was going to be a point that was going to happen, and knew that there was going to be a point where it seemed like the Rabbids franchise is going to slowly go away and return maybe in many years down the line and just be a thing of the past. At one point it would just become like Rayman, where it's gonna go away and maybe return in more than a decade on a big project. It was the Sparks of Hope. And it's still ironic because think about it. Look at the state of the Rayman franchise right now. There isn't any game, okay? Yet, technically speaking, because there were the rumors of the Rayman 3 remastered, which what you talk with Corkman about that. I do not know anything. And we did get the confirmation that they're effectively working on a remake called Project Steambot, and that has the help from Michel Ancel. But and even outside of that, there's the new merch that's going around. The plushie that was designed by Miss Ice Cream, love it. And the board game that, because of the tariffs thing, is gonna take some time to get to the different locations, but at least we know it's happening. And and the participation in Captain Laserhawk, which everyone wants to see again just for Rayman. So we know at least that stuff has been happening with the Rayman franchise, and started off with the appearance of Rayman in his DLC for Sparks of Hope, and then it's a slow but steady return, and there's been stuff to look forward to. That's why Rayman fans are calm right now. It's a thing that they've been experiencing these last few years. They realize that, well, it's gonna be a slow and steady return, and even if it doesn't return, well, we still got each other. Like, Rayman Alive is coming back for September 1st, and that's gonna be amazing. I just know it's gonna be amazing. So, release, the franchise is gonna, whatever happens, it's gonna be better. There's definitely gonna be something down there. Maybe something. There's at least something to look forward to. There's a confidence that, okay, there's a feeling that yes, it's gonna take 1 or 2 more years, but we know it's gonna happen. We're gonna get in stuff in the meantime. But in the case of the Rabbids, that's not the case. Legends of the Multiverse hasn't got any updates. There isn't any new games down the line. There's no rumors, no leaks, and we got the news regarding Soliani, which is a topic for another video. And there's not even merch or anything. There's nothing really interesting that is gonna catch the attention of the Rabbids fandom, which is sad because, well, as I've always said, this fandom deserves everything. They deserve the greatest things, even if it's not Rabbids related. They deserve the best things of the world. We'd love to see. And the thing is, I just want to remind you folks, we are not gonna be here with you to experience whatever comes next. So I'll just say it. If it has to end this way, then so be it. It's a tough deal to accept that the franchise is gonna go down under at one point, or at least it's gonna become dormant, as they say. It's a thing that one has to accept with time. It's a thing that no fan, especially hardcore fan of the franchise, can accept without it. If it has to end there, then I think we ended on a high note. We ended with a very successful TV show. We ended with two of the best crossovers of all time. Just absolutely excellent strategy games. We got a game that basically puts together stuff from all the saga into one. A more traditional party game that feels like a definitive experience. Although it needs a little bit more content, but it was a really good evolution of the Rabbids games. And yeah, I think it is good that it's going away. It has to be like that, and at least I'm gonna be accepting that. We ended on a good note. They had a good run. It's good. I mean, we could be wrong because, heck, I'm leaving by the end of June, maybe by July. That's how things are going. And imagine I go and it turns out next year we'll be getting the movie, and it's not going to be live action, it's going to be animated, and I don't know. We're also going to secretly announce a Mario Bros. Rabbids 3, maybe a remake of Go Home. There may be a TV show, maybe some new merch that hasn't been going around that much. The last thing was from a few years ago, the Rabbids one. The Rabbids one, that's basically it. Yeah. But hey, I'm very happy for what we got, and I'm very happy that I was able to experience this entire journey with the Rabbids fandom. Orlando, Contender, Terminator, Piper, all the rest of the Rabbids fandom. I wonder what are they going to do. I wonder what could they be doing for the 20th anniversary. Imagine if they make their own Rayman Live. Maybe, I don't know, they bring back folks like Loris and Terror on Fire. I don't know. Really cool. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Without any script, without any not much editing, just wanted to express everything in the best way we possibly can. We want to thank everyone for coming, and I'll see you around. Have a good one.